I actually started initially with separate card games because one kind of leads into another. So initially I collected Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and at one point one of my grandparents misunderstood what game I played and bought me a pack of Magic cards, and I thought the art looked cool. So I got some more, and they went in my little collection of cards for a while, and they kind of faded from the back of my mind until a friend of mine in high school asked if I had the cards, and I'm like, yeah, I got some. So he went through my collection with his, and we both built some decks, and from there it just kind of took off and became our little high school tradition, and here I am. Several years later, and several thousand more cards since then.
I got into it because my boyfriend Dominic played it, and at first it was just something that I did kind of to humor him, but then it ended up being something that I really enjoyed. Kind of the challenge of it, it gave me really something to engage with that I found really interesting.
So the initial difficulty is definitely price point, because as a high schooler, you don't really have many funds to work with unless you've got your own part-time job or a really decent allowance. And then the other second difficulty comes with the actual matter of playing the game, if you haven't already been in the game for a while, because you hear I have 10,000 cards, right? That is nothing in the histories of all the cards Magic has. There are so many interactions, so many specific edge cases with rules, so many different strategies that you may have never seen before when you're starting out. So it's definitely a large learning curve at the start as well, to kind of get a feel for how the game functions and all of the neat little interactions that can happen. So standard's like a good jumping in point for everyone, but if you want to keep going deeper into the game, it definitely has a steeper learning curve. The game itself, in addition to having the color identity that I said before that people relate to, sometimes once you just get on a roll, like you know what you're doing with your deck and it does what you want it to do, that can be one of the best feelings in the world. Especially if you've been in the game for a while and you're trying a really dumb idea. So it's definitely an aspect of the identity and how you want to play, and also there's a large community around it. Specifically, you can look on Twitch, on YouTube, you can probably go down to one of your local game stores and there's going to be a whole bunch of people that are playing the game that they love in the way that they want to do it, creating content, making friends, maybe even making their own custom cards and stuff for their friends that are like, hey look, it's you in the game. So there's also a large community aspect to it.
Overall, I've found the community to be really welcoming. I think there are definitely groups of players that are more casual or more competitive, but I've also seen people who do a bit of both. I think there's a lot of space to move between casual and competitive. You don't necessarily have to commit to just one.
So for the most part, everyone's very positive, and the only real difference between the competitive and casual community is just the amount of people that are there to win versus have a good time. But I'm still learning and playing around old cards that came out a long time ago. Not to mention the fact that we've kind of hit peak Magic popularity, it feels like. So there's set after supplementary set, after Secret Lair, after Commander product. There's just so much coming out in so many different ways that they interact with old cards that I can say I've built a deck, but I've never finished a deck, because there's always going to be new or better includes, and then it's a constant game of what do I take out to put the new card in.
The versatility, the different ways that it can be played, all of the different kinds of decks you can build, there's a lot of room for making something your own, and there's a lot of challenge in trying to think of what can I put in a deck that will deal with what my opponents might have, and how can I do it in a way that stays true to who I am as a player and the kind of strategies I like to commit to. I think we're getting to an interesting turning point in Magic where They're trying a lot of new things, and I think some people will enjoy the new things that they're trying to keep the game from becoming stale, and I think there's some people who won't. But it's definitely a very interesting point in the game with them trying to bring in new features and new mechanics.
Another thing I expect to see is definitely... I don't like it, but I do expect to see even more focus on Commander, specifically one of the largest format currently, I believe. Would I recommend investing in the game now? I would say yes, for sure. It's definitely something that I think a lot of people should at least try. Investment-wise, it would definitely be good to, just buy a starter deck. It already comes with a full deck inside, and just play it with some of your friends that are already into Magic, because it most certainly can be a wonderful hobby to get into.
That was stupid.
Heck you. Do you want to play some Magic?
Yeah, sure.
Cool, let's go. Kick your butt.